And start recording. I'm doing that again. Do number 4, A and B with your partner. We'll go over in a second. Got it? All right, let's go over these problems. Okay, so a card is randomly drawn from a standard deck, and then a date in the month of June is chosen at random. I want an ace. How many aces are in a deck of cards? There are 4 aces out of how many total cards? 52. You can simplify that down, right, guys? Okay, to what? 1/13. That's because there are 13 cards in each suit. There are 4 suits, 13 cards in each suit. One of those 13 cards is going to be an ace. Does that make sense, guys? And then I'm going to times that by an odd. That means an odd date in June. So how many days are odd in June? Odd. 15. And then how many total are there? 30. Okay, that's the tricky part, making sure you know the difference if it has 30 days or 31 days. So 15 out of 30 simplifies down to what? Multiplied together gives me what? Very nicely done. Okay, give me the probability of getting a spade. Not 1/13. It would be 13 out of, which simplifies down to 1/4. All right, multiple of 4. How many multiples of 4 are there in the month of June? 7. Because if you count by 4s, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, and we stop at 28 because there's only 30 days in the month of June. Does that make sense, guys? So 7 out of how many total? That can't be simplified down. So what's my answer then? 7 over 120. Questions. Is this getting any easier? Kind of, sort of, maybe. Okay. Last page. Do 5, A, B, and C with your partner, but remember, guys, this one's a little tricky because you got to remember what a quadrilateral is, what a triangle is, that one shouldn't be hard, what a square is, and what a parallelogram is. So be very careful making sure you know what exactly is what. So try number 5, A, B, C, and D with your partner, please. All right, guys, let's start going over these problems, please. Someone raise their hand and tell me, what's the probability that I will get a quadrilateral? Isabel. Which simplifies down to 3/4. Excellent. Who can tell me what the probability is that I will roll a 6? Leah. 1/6. What should I do now, you guys? Cross, cancel. Hey, Isabel, we grab the door. The 3 becomes a what, everyone? What's the 3 become, everyone? And the 6 becomes a? So what do we get for a final answer? Good. Questions? Okay, who can raise their hand and tell me what's the probability of getting a triangle? Becca. 1/8. Who can tell me what the probability of rolling an odd number? Lucille. 1/2. So everyone, what's my answer? 1/16. Perfect. Very nicely done. Okay. Probability of a square. Who can raise their hand and tell me what's the probability of a square? Claire? 1/8. Who can tell me what the probability of getting at most a 2? Bennett? 1/3. Yes, because it's originally 2/6. Simplifies down to 1/3, which gives me what as an answer, everyone? Who wants to tell me the probability of getting a parallelogram? This one was probably one of the trickier ones. Sophie? It is 1/2. 4 of these shapes are parallelograms. A lot of people in my first hour wanted to say 5 because they wanted to say that this shape right here was a parallelogram, but that is a trapezoid. So when you think about quadrilaterals, they break off into 2 subcategories under quadrilaterals. It goes to parallelograms, or it can go to a trapezoid. Parallelograms means it has to be top and bottom are parallel, side and side are parallel. where a trapezoid only has one set of parallel lines, so the top and bottom are parallel, but the two sides are not parallel to one another. Therefore, a trapezoid is not a parallelogram. Does that make sense, guys? Do we see why it's 4 and not 5? Okay, who can tell me the probability of getting a prime number? Who can tell me that? 1. Aubrey. 1/2, which means what's my answer, everyone? 1/4. Questions? Okay, with your partner, you may do number 6 now. A, B, and C and D. Go. Here we go. Probability that I will get an orange marble. Who can raise their hand and tell me that one? Probability of orange. Addison. 1/12. Morgan, tell me the probability of getting purple. 1/3. What's that equal, everyone? Very good. Brayden, probability I'll get a purple.
1/3.
Brady, probability I'll get a green. What's my answer, everyone? Excellent. Campbell, what's the probability I'll get an orange?
1/12.
Kennedy, what's the probability I'll get another orange? Say that letter, Sadie. What?
1/12.
Good job. And what's my answer, everyone? Gabe, probability I'll get a red.
5/12.
Dax, probability I'll get another red.
5/12.
What's my answer, everyone?
25.
Those were pretty simple because they used the word replaced. If they didn't replace it, it'd be a little bit more complicating, right, guys? So speaking of that, let's go do the very last one. Number 8, do those 4 with your partner, and then we'll check them in a minute, please. Okay, here we go. Ben and Kay, what's the probability of getting an even?
1/2.
And then Gavin, what's the probability of getting an odd after you get that even?
The 8/15.
It would be 8/15. Very good. There are still, all of the odds are there because we got rid of an even, but we went from 16 to 15. Cross cancel, guys. What's the 2 become? 8 becomes. So what's my answer? Hopefully you told me 4/15. Very nicely done. Bella, what's the probability I'll get a 10?
1/16.
Excellent. Eva, what's the probability I'll then get an even?
8/15.
It is not 8 because 10 is an even number. And if I pick that 10, I got rid of that 10. So how many evens do I have, Eva?
7/15.
Very good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Very good. That is a very common mistake. Hopefully that made sense. We picked an even, or we picked the 10. 10's an even, so you got to get rid of one of the even numbers. So there's only 7 even out of 15 total. So what's my answer, everyone? 7/240. Perfect. Vince, what's the probability I'll get a number less than 13? 3/4. Abram, what's the probability I'll then get a 16? 1/15. Cross cancel, guys. What's the 3 become? 15 becomes a? What's my answer? Excellent job. Okay. I can't remember if I've called on everyone. I feel like I have. But anyway. Multiple of 5. Who wants to tell me down? What's the probability of getting a multiple of 5? Brayden? 3/16. So then who can tell me what's the probability of getting another multiple of 5? Aubrey? 2/15. So the 3 becomes a what? 15 becomes a? 2 becomes a? 16 becomes a? And what do I get when I multiply across? Very nicely done. Bennett. Yes. Because we're taking away a number less than 13. So 16 is still one of those numbers that's guaranteed to be there. So that's why. Good question. Yeah, if they would have picked a number that would have been less than 13, that one would have been kind of hard to do in this type of scenario. Other questions? Okay, let's go to our homework assignment because I want to explain it to you. Okay, so it looks like this. So this is a maze, as you can tell. So everyone find the starting point. And that's the problem that you start on. That's like saying this is question number 1 in your problems, okay? You are pretty much going to solve almost all of these questions. There is maybe like 2 or 3 problems on the whole page that you won't solve at all if you do the maze correctly. Is that understood? Okay, so what you do is you answer the question. It says, if the spinner below is spun twice, find the probability that it lands on an N and then a vowel. So someone tell me what's the probability that the spinner lands on an N. Claire? 1/7. So I'm going to write 1/7 in that box. What's the probability I then get a vowel? Leah? Sorry, say that louder, sweetie. 3/7. So I have 1/7 times 3/7, which is what? Then you're going to see all these little things that are going off from that box, right? Do you see the one that says 3/49? So that is your answer, which means that this is the direction that you go with the maze, which means this is question number 2. And you solve question 2. The answer to question 2 is either 1/2, 5/18, 2/9, or 7/12. I'm going to give you a hint. It ain't 7/12 because you're not going to end up that fast. Understood? Okay? If you don't get an answer that's on here, that should indicate that you did something wrong. Okay? And it might not be the question that you're on is wrong. Maybe you did the question before it wrong. So double check everything. You're really only going to not do maybe 2 or 3. I can't remember off the top of my head. But that's all the work you have to show. Do I have any questions on this worksheet? Okay, you guys have the rest of class to work on it.